All right, what is up, y'all? It is Jerry once again back from Team Unco Studios, doing another very basic MPC Beats video for you all, okay? So this is the second part of the exploding video, which we already kind of went through. And so I'm gonna kind of show you guys how to get your exploded tracks that you have now exported out. We want to try to make sure to keep everything organized, so we're going to be able to find the WAV files and all of that good stuff, okay? So let's go ahead and jump right into this. So if you come back down to the screen, you'll notice this is kind of where we left off here. We exploded this drum track out here, okay? So this was that song, okay? And, you know, we were kind of here where we were bringing things in and out, you know, simple stuff, okay? So let's go ahead and start getting this out of here. How do we export this, right? Let's say I want to take this out of here and I want to take it over to my other DAW and mix it and do other stuff with it over there, right? How do I do that? So you would think just kind of exporting, you know, you just export it out in a whole. Well, the best way to export this kind of stuff, because remember, this is MIDI information now, right? And what is MIDI, right? MIDI is just a trigger, right? These little red dots here just triggering these sounds to come in whenever they hit one of these little red little MIDI dots here, okay? So when I export them out, I want them now to turn into audio files. They will no longer look like this. They will look like audio transients, okay? So what does that mean? Let's see if I can get, let's see if I can give you guys an example here, okay? So if I go to audio tracks here, okay? Let's go ahead and go to this audio track, all right? And let's just drag one of these, I don't know, this guy in. That right there is what I'm talking about. It's gonna turn it into a WAV file, a file where I can actually see it. And you have probably seen this before, you know, these kind of like little squiggly lines when you're looking at different videos and stuff, okay? So that's what I'm talking about. We're gonna be churning it into a WAV file, an audio file, one that we could be able to export out and put it in, and now you're gonna see those transients, those little kind of, you know, squiggly lines, right? So how do we do that? Let's go ahead and go back to our track view, and we're gonna go up to our file browser. I know I'm moving a little bit quick, but I will go back and show you how to do it again, okay? We're gonna go ahead and go to our file. And now if you notice at the very bottom of this down here, you'll see we've got this export option with all these different options in it, okay? So again, if you go to your file here, okay, I'm on my file browser, go to file, go ahead and go all the way down to export. And then you're gonna go down to where it says as audio mixdown right there, okay? So this means that I'm gonna take this audio right here and I'm gonna, or this MIDI information, and I'm gonna turn it into an audio mixdown now, okay? So you also notice above it, it says I could do it as a MIDI track file. So I can take this MIDI information the way it is, and this pattern, right? Because that's what it is. It's a pattern of little red dots, right? And I can take that MIDI information and apply that to another DAW that has MIDI as well. So it's both options you can do there. You could take it as MIDI, or you could take it as an audio file, okay? So in this case, we're going to take it as an audio mixdown. So there is my audio mixdown, and now I've got this little menu that pops up right here. What this menu is saying is, how am I going to take this out of there? How am I going to render this down into a file or wherever I'm going to put it in order to grab it from my other DAW? So you got a couple of things going on here. I do explain this in another video, okay? But I'm going to explain it again for the purposes of exploding tracks, okay? So if you notice where it says render source here, how am I going to render this down? Well, I have exploded tracks on here, right? So if you'll notice right now, it's just giving me a stereo output mix and a main insert, right? So it's just taking a left and a right out of everything that I have here, but I don't want it to do that. I want it to separate the tracks. So you'll notice there's two different options under that. One that says separate programs or explode tracks. So if I hit separate programs, it will also give me the option to, if I had like 6 tracks and none of them were exploded, that would separate each one of those tracks individually. But because I've exploded tracks, I'm gonna go ahead and hit that exploded tracks checkbox right there. Okay, so now I've got this exploded track checkbox. Under it, what kind of file format am I going to send? If I'm sending this to another DAW where I want to work with those tracks individually, I'm going to be sending a WAV file. I can make a video kind of on what the other file formats are. A WAV file is just an easier way for, it's audio. It's an audio file that is much easier read on different DAWs and different software, and it's easier for storage and different purposes. So that's what they call a WAV file. When you think of a WAV file, think of an audio file that is going or being imported or exported from one place to the other, okay? So again, if you want to keep going through some more of these, I can make an extra video of that. The only other one you will ever use in this little thing here, and you might use other ones, but it's MP3. So if I wanted to turn this into an MP3, meaning I'm just going to put it all together and turn it into one single file, MP3 is where I would go. But for now, I'm going to go to WAV file because I want to separate these out in order to bring into my other DAW, right? So I've got these, the bit rate is 24 is fine. That sample rate, 44 should be fine. So we're gonna go ahead and keep it on that. So let's go, I'm gonna export now, okay? So if you take a look at this screen again, I've got explode tracks, okay? It's telling me how many bars, right? So I've just got the 2 bars here with the little 1-second tail there, all right? So I'm gonna go ahead and go to export. And now I've got this other screen that pops up here that's saying, okay, we know what you want to export now. Where am I putting it at, right? So the best thing you want to do in situations like this and in any audio situation is to make sure to keep yourself organized. This is so important. Keep yourself organized. If you are not organized, things are going to be all over the place, okay? So anytime you see this on your MPC Beats or anything, be very, very detailed with where you put stuff, okay? Because things can get lost, stems can be, you know, gone and stuff, and it just makes things like, it makes it such a hassle to have to work with the audio. So this is a very important part. So we know that data right here, this data behind this screen, right, that I want, separated tracks and all that, where am I gonna put it? Thing number one, when this pops up, skip where the file name is for right now. What I want is a folder. I don't want a file, I want a folder. I want somewhere where I can put this at where I'm gonna be able to see it. So I'm gonna go to new folder first, and I'm gonna put FREAK, let's just say that for now, right? Just as a thing, and just go explode. So explode. Okay, and I'm gonna say, okay, that's what I want, is this new folder. Okay, so I'm gonna say do it. Okay, now it's telling me where this document is going to be going right here. It's saying that the document is gonna be in my MPC Beats under frequently, and it's gonna be called Freak Explode. That's where that file is going to be found now, okay? So I'm gonna be able to go to my documents, to my MPC, go to frequently, and now this file will be found there, Freak Explode. Okay, so now I can go ahead and call this WAV file frequently or whatever, it doesn't matter, and now I'm gonna go ahead and go save. Okay, so now it's taking this information and it's saving it there. Okay, so if I go ahead and minimize this, okay, now I'm gonna go to my Finder here, okay, I'm gonna go to my documents, I'm gonna go to MPC Beats, okay, I'm gonna go to my frequently, and there is my Freak Explode, and here are my files, you guys, okay? So had I not made a folder, all of these files right here would have all showed up just blah, splattered in here, which you can do that too, but it would have just showed up as info that's in here. I like to keep them in a file so that I can keep it nice and organized, you know? So now when I go to my other DAW, what I'm gonna do is go take this, and mind you, I can take this too and put it on a flash drive now. I can do multiple things with this, you know? So if we go now back to my original track here, right? I've exported all of this, and we go ahead and go out of here, like I showed at the end of the last video, right? And I say, I don't want to save that anymore, okay? So now I'm gonna get out of there. Now I'm gonna go ahead and reopen my MPC Beats again, okay? So it's gonna reopen here. Okay, remind me later. Now remember, if I go back to this file again, and I go back to load recents, and I go to frequently, I'm back to my original of what I've had, okay? So I just did all that work. I exploded tracks, I exported, but I kept the sanctity of the original of what I had. That's always super important to me too. You know, I can do all of this work, you know, get it all out and get it out, but I want that original of what I did, you know? It's always good to keep the very original of what you're working on, just in case you want to go back and make changes or whatever. You can do it from the starting point, then explode, then, you know, transfer and all of that good stuff, okay? So I hope this was helpful, you guys. If you have any more questions or anything about anything else you would like to see, please just let me know. Leave a comment down below, and be on the lookout for some more videos. We're looking to trying to do some sequence videos. Sequencing videos. We're also looking at trying to, look at the mixer and kind of, how to add effects and, all kinds of different things. Just different tools to make your creative mind be able to expand more and more and more. Okay. All right. So from all of us here at Team Unco Studios, we hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you on the next video. Okay. Later.